YouTube? I'm the Bearded Brother, and today we're taking a look at my personal Spiritus Systems Microfight Mark IV chest rig. So, if you're not already subscribed to the channel, I'd ask that you pause the video now. Just scroll down, look for that subscribe button, and once you've found it, just click it once for me. And without further ado, let's get straight into the video. Alright guys, so like I said, this is my personal Spiritus Systems rig, right? This is my chest rig, if you will. Now, where to start with these things, right? Because the call to fame of these type of units, right? Whether it's the Spiritus Mark IV, or an older Spiritus unit for that matter, or a Haley Strategic DC3 RM, I forget their nomenclature, but again, they have a micro chest rig that's very compelling. Frankly, between the two, I think those are the two main competitors, right? The Spiritus and the Haley. I personally own a Spiritus. I've got a couple buddies that own a Haley, and I think in due time I will look at building a layout similar to this one with a Haley chest rig. But neither here nor there, right? The call to fame of these units is their modularity. So it is not sold as shown. In fact, pretty much everything is sold separately. And when I say everything, I mean everything. I have the Spiritus site up here, and I will show you kind of what they've got, right? So if you go to Microfight Chest Rig on their website, they've got pretty much nothing in stock. And this is oftentimes the story, right? So again, everything is sold separately, from the rig itself to the straps to the back strap, to any zipper pockets that you like to add, to any magazine inserts that you like to add, expander wings and such. Similar to these are different units. We'll get into that in a bit. The magazine inserts for the rifle mags, separate. Literally everything is parted out individually, right? And they've got a lot of modularity. Again, Spiritus probably has some of the best reputation, but you got to pay to play, right? So the chest rig itself is about 80 bucks. The half zipper pocket you see here is about 30 bucks. The inserts for the magazines, the two pistol magazines, about $20. The inserts for the 3 rifle mags, about $25. This is a Cry Precision radio pouch. I forget the model name. I think it's an Airlight, if I'm not mistaken. I think this one hit me for about $35. This is a Shaw Concept saw shank, so it basically lets you slide your sheath for your knife in there. That was about 30 bucks, I think, shipped. This drop down sack, Lord, I can't even find half this stuff on their site. This, I believe, was 50 or 60 bucks. And then you gotta pay for the stuff to go inside of it, right? So it's definitely a rabbit hole once you get into this, but it's like I said, very, very much modular, and you can swap a lot of this stuff out if you opt to do that. So I'll kind of take you guys through my layout and kind of my philosophy for some of this stuff, right? So again, I went with the fat straps. They do have thin straps available, and I think those will cross in the back, kind of making an X over your back. Now, there's nothing wrong with the thin straps. In fact, I do own a pair of the thin straps, but I personally like the fat straps if I'm going to run the rig. These are a bit more comfortable, and if you do need to run a push-to-talk or any cables or hydration or whatever it is, you got these straps to assist in that, and these black ones are elastic. And so, kind of working my way down, right? We've got magazines. Nothing special there, but inside of those magazine, basically inside of this pouch, right, we have to insert these magazine inserts, right? So these were the 5.56 inserts, and they're basically just a Velcro insert, right? You can see it here. Basically, it comes right out. I won't undo it here in the video, but it comes right out, and then once you got that in there, you can slap your mags in as needed, right? Kind of working my way forward. I've got a similar setup, you can see down in there, for the pistol magazines, right? Very much the same situation. Here I've got one of the Axle advanced pouches, and in here I've got quite a few things. So I've got a spare set of Surefire 123As. I've got a spare, what do you call these? I forget the CR2032 batteries. Quarter zone 10 for if you're in the field. I've got some Neosporin if you're in the field. Basic, basic boo-boo supplies in here. Nothing that's not really first aid or a trauma kit, if you will. I've got a spare chapstick down there, a lighter, spare AA batteries, right in the rain, notepad, so just the basics. Now I will say they do make dividers and inserts, basically like tinier magazine pouches basically, but they'll make them for little loop inserts for your batteries and things like that to help organize these pockets a bit more. For me, I don't dig in that too often, so I haven't invested in something like that because it's probably about 20 bucks just for some elastic Velcro inserts. Got my warm fuzzy patch on the front there. Okay, so let's go to my little side attachments that I've added on here, right? So I did say I have a Cry, you can see it there, Cry Precision. This is an Airlight radio pouch if I'm not mistaken. And in that I've got a Baofeng, what is this, a BFA 58. This is a pretty solid radio. I like this one.
Stay sunny, 59 degrees.
There you go. So I've got one of the emergency weather stations by default currently. But it's a pretty solid radio, and I've got one of the Abri extendable antenna kind of, what do you call these? I'm blanking out, right? But you guys know what I'm talking about, right? The extendable fold-out antenna. So I've got one of those. And again, I've got the Shawshank. I just got this right after Christmas. A fan of this, right? And so basically, this is a Gerber, not a Gerber, I'm sorry, a Becker. A Becker K-bar knife. It's a BK2. Huge blade. We're talking 1/4-inch thick, right? So this is good SHTF / bushcrafting style knife, and so that's the reason I've got that. I wanted something substantial, something hefty. But I like this design, right? First and foremost, it is padded on the back, as opposed to pretty much everything else. Now you can buy, not from Spiritus, third-party manufacturers do make similar mesh backing for the chest rig itself. But basically what it is just a small pocket, and in that pocket there is, soft, or the soft Velcro lining, and they give you a couple strips. You attach those strips to your sheath, and then you just lock it in similar to any of the basically just like another insert, right? So a fan of that for sure. Let you run a knife pretty much of any size, right? As long as you've got the Velcro to slide your sheath in there, you're good to go. Then I've got the SAC. What does that stand for, right? It's I think it's actually an acronym. It's Sub-Abdominal Carry Kit, right? So got the Spiritus SAC, and in here, what do I have? Some basic fucking snackage, right? So I got some Cliff Bars here. I have got some Leukotape. This is for wrapping your feet if you're ever going to be in your feet for extended periods of time. I like to keep this in here just as my, SHTF contingency type supplies. I've got water purification for that as well. And then I've also got some painkiller and allergy medication in a tiny jar in there as well. So that's just something I keep, just in case, right? I've also got a spare right in the rain in here, and behind that right in the rain, I'll kind of slide this up so you guys can see, right? Spare right in the rain. Behind that I keep 2 spare contacts, just because you can never have too many of these, and I keep them kind of with the soft side facing in and the hard plastic kind of facing out. So if I'm ever prone or rolling around, I'm hopefully not putting a hole in that foil, and those contacts can still be used. And then on the bottom, the cool thing about these Sac Kits, these can be removed, but they do include 2 shock cord or bungee cables, if you will, that you can slide a cat tourniquet in. So I've had that cat in there for a little while. You can see it's starting to fray just a little bit. But overall, right, this is how I've got mine laid out. And so I'll try to roll in some pictures of me wearing mine right about here. But for the most part, right, these things are super solid. It's going to cost you a bit to get in the game, but they're really good as far as I'm concerned, right? Spiritus is one of the best names as far as this type of gear. Now, what's cool about these chest rigs is that you can quickly snap these off, right? Because they do snap in, right? Everything's sold separately. I can quickly snap this off, and this will kind of show you guys the modularity that I'm getting at, right? So as I peel this up, right, it's all Velcro. I peel off my microfight itself, so I've just got the microfight here, right? So I can take that off, And if I wanted to, I could slap this on the front of a plate carrier and use this as a placard, if you will, right? So I can have everything that's in here as you see it, slap it onto the front of a plate carrier, then I've got armor behind this, right? So that's, again, some of that same modularity. And now, as we look what was behind the Mark IV, right? We've got our radio pouch here, so that you can see easily would pop off if I wanted to. I've also got my Shawshank that's stripped in, right? It's another modular piece. I can easily pop that off if I'd like. You can follow that line of Velcro there. And then I've got the Sac itself, right? So if I didn't want to run the Sac, I just wanted to run just the rig, or maybe I didn't want to run any of these things, just the rig alone, right? You can really strip it down, mission specific if you want to get technical or tactical with it. But for the most part, right, the Velcro, the modularity, it allows you to do exactly what you want to do. So this is my rig. Nothing too crazy, guys. I just wanted to share that with you guys on the channel. I wear this when I'm out on the range, and you'd be surprised, right? If you're not, when I say the range, I don't mean my shooting range in a bay, you know, shooting 25 yards. I mean out on the range where I'm moving. You know, my guns and ammo might be on the other side of a 200-yard field. And so having something like this allows me to load up on some ammo. Frankly, that one of the things I like about this pouch, and I've just got it kind of showing like this, right? You don't need to, it's made for radios, but that's not typically how I run it. Take that radio out, and it'll actually accommodate up to 2 additional M4 style magazines. And so when I'm out on the range, right, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 M4 style mags, and up to 6 typically, right? Because I might have one in the firearm itself. And then I've got 2 pistol mags, 1 on my belt. Not to mention I have another pistol mag on my belt. So I'm sorry, another AR mag on my belt. So it really allows me to be mobile and not need to keep running back across the field to load up on ammo, right? So that's kind of the use of my chest rig. You know, I guess not everybody's out here kicking indoors, or, you know, I mean, I guess we're all LARPing at the end of the day, aren't we? But, you know, I'm just a regular dude, and I found a use for this. So, you know, I think in recent years, we've seen more and more people buying these things, and hopefully the stigma around this type of thing is starting to lessen, starting to change, you know, right? Because I think once upon a time, right, you see somebody with something like this, and people would assume that person is up to no good, and the reality of it is, this, at the end of the day, is just clothing. It's just a fancy garment with weird pockets. And so, you know, I'd like to see the stigma change. But neither here nor there, guys. This is my chest rig, Spiritus Systems Mark IV, with a whole bunch of additional add-ons, and it's ever evolving. So if you liked what you've seen, again, please hit the subscribe button. I'm going to try to come up with some type of GoFundMe or Patreon so I can continue to fund the channel. If you guys do find the content interesting, you guys can contribute to that. But again, I'm the Bearded Brother. I'm gone.